Welcome to part 1 of the YouTube version of the Wilma the Magic Cat audio podcast, a fantasy fairy tale short story for children and adults by Paul Michael Mosher, read by the author. Much whirling water made the mill wheel work well. The roaring river ran north to south through the mystic forest and powered the brown wooden mill wheel. The wheel was in the center of the forest and attached to a stone cottage where 3 sisters lived. It was laundry day. Frieda, the youngest sister, struggled to hang up white vases on the hemp rope strung between 2 wooden poles that served as a clothesline. The line was cluttered with blue dresses, silk stockings, and beige skirts. Nora, the eldest sister, stood on a rock near the river and washed socks, taking them from a woven basket. Martha felt the clothes on the line, and when she touched a dry skirt, she removed it, folded it, and placed it in another rattan basket. Nora finished the last sock when a strange noise came from the river. Martha and Frieda joined Nora on the rock. They all looked upstream and saw a magnificent white cat struggling in the rapids. Frieda cried, "Oh, we must do something to save that cat." "We can't," Martha replied. "We might fall in the river and drown." "Oh, don't be silly," Nora chided. "All right, just how are we going to get the cat out of the water then?" Martha asked. As usual, little Frieda came up with the solution. "Quickly," she said, "get those clothes off the line. We'll untie the rope from the poles and lasso the cat." "That'll never work," Martha retorted. "We can't know that until we try it," Nora answered. Nora tied a lasso in the rope and threw the lariat towards the cat. As the lasso passed, the cat stuck out its tongue and the rope looped around it. All 3 sisters pulled the tongue-tied cat to the rock. "Look," Martha complained. "We got the clothes all dirty." "Don't worry about that," Frieda said, as she struggled to rehang the rope between the 2 poles. "We can always wash them again." Nora held the cat as she called, "Could someone please bring over a towel? We've got to dry this poor thing off." Frieda gave Nora a towel and helped Martha gather up the laundry. They placed all the clothes in one basket and brought them to the riverbank. "Hey, look at this," Frieda said. "What is it?" Nora asked. "The clothes are clean," Frieda replied. "I wonder if the cat had anything to do with it." The sisters decided to bring the cat home and take care of her. They called her Wilma. Wilma brought prosperity to the stone cottage. The citizens of the nearby village of Waterstone came to the mill with their grain. Everyone loved the white cat who lived with the sisters at the cottage by the roaring river. The sisters became fond of the feline, never suspecting the adventure she would bring them. Laetitia, the wicked Southern Sorceress, wished for a really good cup of tea and looked into her crystal ball. The beautiful bad brunette had not had a cup of tea of any description for several centuries. What she saw in the crystal nearly made her forget her desire. "I thought I told you to kill that cat," she said to Lorenzo and Larrabee, her 2 henchmen. "We did," both men replied. "Oh, you did you? Come here, you little nitwits." "What is it?" Lorenzo, the quicker of the 2, asked. "Look." The Southern Sorceress pointed at her crystal ball, and immediately an eerie glow emanated from the sphere. Images of Larrabee and Lorenzo hiding outside her arch-rival's palace appeared. They watched Larrabee and Lorenzo waiting for Queen Hannah's magnificent white cat. They found the cat and threw it into the roaring river. The scene in the crystal ball shifted to the cat's rescue by the three sisters. "Now go to that cottage and kill that cat," Laetitia ordered. Nora, Martha, and Frieda sat at a delicious meal of tea and crumpets, and Wilma lay contented at the fire with a bowl of fresh cream. There was a knock on the door. "I wonder who that could be?" Martha queried. "Probably just another visitor from the village," Frieda answered. Nora said, "I'll get it," as she went to answer the door. The two henchmen stood at the door when Nora answered it. "Can I help you?" Nora asked politely. "We've just come from Waterstone, and some villagers there told us that a white cat has been seen in this area. We live upstream, and our cat accidentally fell in the river. We wondered if there was any possibility that you rescued the cat," Lorenzo replied. Maybe it was something in the tone of his voice, or something about how neither of the two underlings looked into Nora's eyes. Whatever it was, it told the two sisters that the two henchmen were not to be trusted. Nora hesitated. Frieda came to the door and said, "No, I'm sorry, but we haven't seen any cat." Martha circled the table to join her sisters and accidentally stepped on Wilma's tail. The cat screeched, but Martha managed to catch her before she could jump up and run away. She petted Wilma as Nora and Frieda slammed the door on the two villains. "I'm sorry," Martha said to Wilma. "I didn't mean to hurt you." "Now what are we going to do?" Nora asked. Outside, Larrabee turned to Lorenzo and said, "Now what are we going to do?" Laetitia appeared before them. "Dumbbells," she ranted. "Can't you two do anything right? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to zap you into the cottage, and both of you are going to come out of there with the cat." "But I hate being zapped," Larrabee protested. "So do I," Lorenzo agreed. "Shut up," the Southern Sorceress commanded. Laetitia raised her right arm and pointed a finger at the two men. Larrabee turned to his left, Lorenzo to his right, and the two henchmen ran away from each other. Laetitia kept her right finger pointed at Larrabee, raised her left arm, and pointed a finger at Lorenzo. Two bolts of lightning flashed from her fingertips and hit both of them. Inside the cottage, the three sisters watched the cat comfortably finishing her cream when the two henchmen appeared. "I hate it when she does that," stated Lorenzo. Larrabee responded with, "Where are we?" "Inside the cottage, idiot," Lorenzo replied. "Now, you three, where's the cat?" The three sisters ran to Wilma. The two henchmen saw the cat and ran from opposite directions to grab her. Frieda scooped up the cat as Larrabee collided into Lorenzo. The women ran for the door and Nora opened it. Laetitia waited outside, standing on the doorstep. "Give me that cat," she demanded. "No," Frieda answered defiantly. "Very well," Laetitia said casually as she flicked her wrist. "Freeze." The women couldn't move. Laetitia walked over to Frieda and got the cat. She poked her head through the cottage door. "Come on, you bungling fools. I'm going to show you how a killing's really done. Lorenzo and Larrabee came out of the cottage as Laetitia placed the frozen cat on a large gray boulder. She stood on her toes above the cat, raised her arms, and pointed all her stretched fingers at Wilma. Then she got the idea. She relaxed, crossed her arms, and said, "No, I won't kill you. You have tremendous power. If I could harness that power, I will be able to take over the mystic forest." Lorenzo and Larrabee looked at her in amazement and said, "Gee, you're smart." "I know. Come on, it's time to go." Laetitia picked up the cat, raised her left arm over her head, and snapped her fingers. Laetitia, Lorenzo, and Larrabee disappeared. The freeze spell dissipated, and slowly the three sisters returned to normal. "Did you hear that?" Nora said. "I think she's going to try to use Wilma to take over the forest." "Well, now what are we going to do?" Martha asked. "We need help," Nora replied, "and I know just where to go to get it," Frieda said.